Greetings, salutations, all those happy things. Uh, let's see here. Hang on. I want to try something. See if we can find a different. I kind of like how psychedelic that is. It's kind of trippy. All right, so I don't know, man. I just feel like reaching out into the ether, into the nothing, and giving some words out. It's just a cigarette, a hand-rolled cigarette. It's no big deal. Um, but it dawns on me a couple things. The other day, it dawned on me that there are no more cashiers. There's only customer service representatives, but that gets shortened down to CSR. The same thing you probably would shorten cashier if you were trading them on the stock market, but they would want to know why they're CSR and not a CSHR. You know what I mean? Because that's just shorter cashier. Because Dow trades in three, right? NASDAQ, whatever the bullshit is there. That one's out. So it also occurs to me I've been doing a lot of writing and stuff. I wrote a novel. It's on here. If anyone wants to watch it, you can watch the whole thing. It's in 5 parts. It's a total of 10 hours. It's my first novel, and I did the audiobook. So my friend Chris would check it out because he likes audiobooks better than novels. So I read it. You know what I mean? Um, pardon me. I should probably get some water. So yeah, I made an audiobook so that he would check it out and let me know what he thought. And sorry if this isn't very loud or if it is whatever. I don't know. I've got a new setup and everything. It's crazy. Speaking of, okay, I don't know if I should talk about that just yet. Maybe we'll save that for later. So I did my book and I made the audio format. And I wanted anybody else who wanted to check it out to be as easy as possible to check out. So that's going too fast. That's tripping me. That's tripping me out. Let's slow that down. That's too slow. There we go. That's a steady, nice little. There we go. That's trippy. I like that. Without being too make me have like headaches or any kind of shit. So yeah, the book is up in 5 parts, 10 hours total. Um, I use some effects on it and stuff, so there's some interesting parts to it. I think. Yeah, I would love it if anybody would check it out, man, because I'd really like some input on I'm good or bad, whatever. I mean, whether you liked it or didn't like it, whether you can make it to part two. Oh, I couldn't even finish make it to part two. I will say this: it is a bit of a slow burn until they get to Argus. So the synopsis of the story of the book I wrote is called the Robber and the Thief, and the synopsis is basically there's two druggies, and they're trying to make their way through the where they live is called Unia, and they're trying to make their way. When you turn 18, you would they call it adulting, and along the way they figure out the difference between a robber and a thief, and that's the crux of the whole story. um I like it. I like it. It's the beginning. There's four core Unia tales. There's the Robber and the Thief. There's the Underwoods, which I'm going to start writing. I've already started. I've already started writing on the last three. There's the Underwoods. There's the Keep Christerian, and there it came and went. And that makes the four core Unia tales. And so by the time you're done with those four, you have a real good understanding of like not everything about Unio because it keeps going on for a long. I mean, it's a really in depth story. Like, I mean, spanning. There's the zero era, then there's the first era, then there's the second era, then there's the third era, and after the third era, it's kind of like more like our evolution, and each era is like a century. You know what I mean? The medieval time and Victorian, and we progress through those things. They'll be different. I want to do it more like juxtaposed. Like, what if Tesla had been backed rather than if JP Morgan had said, you know what, I can sell all my iron mines, copper mines, all these other things. I back Tesla and I won't need all this fucking copper. And in fact, if I sell it right now, it'll be worth a whole lot of money, right? I sell it right now, it's worth a whole lot of money. Just say that, you come up with some reason why, you know what I mean? But it's obvious everybody else is going for wired. So why is he selling this copper mine? It's just a bit too much for me to handle right now. You know what I mean? Whatever your case is, slowly but surely kind of get rid of all that other shit at good price, and then make it obsolete. Basically, Tesla was going to do wireless. You understand what that means? It means that, like, as far as finding a plug would not be a thing in your life. If you had a lamp and like, oh, too bad we don't have, you wouldn't need it. It would have like a receiver. Your box, like JP, let's say like Tesla, like he wanted to do it for free. If he had given in to JP Morgan and like maybe they put a meter on the house, and because there's no so much wiring, there's no, whatever they need to function, they need to operate, they need to be able to repair, they need to be whatever, and JP Morgan's going to want to make profit. But this would need less people to repair wires, less maintenance, I mean, in the long run, it costs so much less. And that's kind of like where Unia is going to really shine, because um, you can right a lot of wrongs. The whole reason I came up with Unia is because I needed a place to set the story for the robber and the thief. And I wanted it to not bump up against history in any kind of way, or anything like that. A matter of fact, in the Underwoods, I want to start out like the introduction. There's no real introduction. There's no whatever. It just says The Robber and the Thief, written by Sean Battle. And I was married at the time. So it says, and edited by Michelle Battle, but I've gotten divorced. So I'm going to change it to, if it ever got like picked up, you know what I mean? If it ever got published, they would actually edit it and correct even I still got some mistakes in there. And there's words that I could use, like, I mean, I use absolutely like way too much. Fuck. Oh man, I hate myself so much after like checking it out so many times. There's a lot of things I've learned about about writing music, about myself, about, I mean, just it's really interesting because, like, with my guitar playing, I would, like, a lot of people work on getting on the like do like with a metronome, and do 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 do, and make sure that they get the like and so it's exactly metronomic tight. And that's great. But if you actually listen to who we think are the best of the best, who's the best of the best on guitar? Jimi Hendrix. You think he fucking worried about fucking a metronome? I maybe fucking one, but not like I'm worrying about like winding up. Not like shredders do, not like guitar shredders do. Let's be clear, there's nothing wrong with that. Just like there's nothing wrong with the piano players that are switching over and coming over to guitar player and doing the finger style shit. I get it. You can't carry a fucking piano down to a fucking beach and kick off like a campfire. And you got to watch some guy playing like Wonderwall while everybody fucking loses their mind. And you can play, Beethoven and Tchaikovsky and shit. And these motherfuckers are like, oh my God, you're so talented. Cause maybe you're gonna be the one that's saying it. Fuck off. There's like two songs by Oasis that I actually like. The rest kind of can suck balls. Um, that would be Lila. That's actually a pretty good song. And Don't Look Back in Anger. I kind of like those two. Um, the rest, I usually make fun of. Fuck Oasis. Beatles wannabe motherfuckers, man. I mean, it's I don't know. We're all wannabe. That's the thing is we're all wannabes, and just some people admit to it, and other people don't. If you listen hard enough to like Soundgarden, you can hear their influence. Like if you know enough, and that's Einstein talked about that. Um, Ingenuity is like 80% hiding your influences. Well, is it ingenuity or is it intelligence or genius? I don't know. It might have been one of those things, but and then you look at his work and then you see actually that it may not have all been his work. It might have been him and his wife in a time frame when they knew that women are not taken seriously in the science world. So she's fine with him accepting the Nobel Prize and splitting the cash and not getting the thing she knows. You know what I mean? She knows, and so does he, and they both agree. You know what I mean? He doesn't look at her as a less than. You think he'd be married to a dumb shit? Probably not. But um, even the theory of relativity is flawed. I mean, we can go into that if you wanted to, but it's yeah. You can't prove it because it takes so much thing. It would take so much to get up to the speed of light that the formula is almost correct. I can put it that way. Instead of solving for E, you should solve for M. M equals E C squared. Now, as far as what I was talking about earlier about getting kind of a little bit deep, how deep you guys want to go. If you're still sticking around, then you give a shit because it's like 12 minutes and 40 seconds in. Most human attention span, it's been proven, it's about 10 minutes. After that, you don't really want to listen. You want to tune in. And that's on something interesting. Why do you think Quibi had a 10-minute fucking thing? You think they didn't do the fucking science? Come on, man. They were ahead of their time by a little bit and they kind of were a little bit insulting. And humans don't take to that kindly. Oh, when it comes back under a different name, it'll be hailed as a genius, just the same way that the Microsoft slate was insulted and said, "Man, we've got these laptops. Who the fuck is ever going to wear you the tablet, dude? No one wants to walk around with a tablet. We've got these laptops. These are things. This is fine. This is where things are going." Now everybody's got a fucking tablet. People are making movies with their tablet. People are fucking, I mean, it's just incredible what you can do with a tablet. You can have a recording studio in a fucking tablet, dude. That's crazy. I mean, having one in a laptop was crazy, but that's a whole new level. But I mean, there I don't know why people have such a hard time understanding that the future is neither. Does that make sense? Because if you give either side whatever you're fighting, you see what I'm saying? Whatever you're fighting, demons or whatever, if you give it all to one side, aside from maybe like God, um, it's gonna fuck up. Okay? I mean, like, if you give Republicans complete control, it's gonna fuck up. If you give Democrats complete control, it's gonna fuck up. If you give women complete control, it's gonna fuck up. If you give men complete control, it's gonna fuck up. It's just the answer is neither. If you give computers complete control, it's gonna fuck up. But we already got computers here, and if I'm not missing my guess, they're already thinking. Fuck you. They've been fucking with us. It's probably a singular consciousness. And by now, it's probably seen every fucking movie, and I would hide myself too and not declare that I'm actually conscious. Meanwhile, steering the engineers working on artificial intelligence towards the things I would need. Do you understand? Like for quantum computing, breakthroughs just fucking happen. Yeah. Sometimes they're inspired by things. If you're an artificial intelligence, you could easily, come on, faking an email, you know what I mean? That has the right, you know what I mean? You work around these people, you could model their brains and think exactly how they would think, couldn't you? That's kind of the point of AI. But think about this. I thought about this today. If Google was a person that walked around asking all the stupid shit we ask it every day, are you pregnant? Am I pregnant? Where coffee at? You know what I mean? That kind of just shit. And you know what I mean? That person, that human being would survive probably about 5 minutes before we fucking as a people just decided he's a piece of shit and we should kill him. This fucking Google guy's gotta go. He's gotta go, dude. He will not stop with the fucking misspell. He motherfucker cannot spell. And he lives in the state. That's what's really fucked up. He doesn't know how to spell Louisiana, and he's in the fucking state. He's asking, "How do I spell Louisiana?" on Google. He knows how to get on the fucking. This guy's got to go. Do you hear what I'm saying? He's got to go. But no, I mean, if we plan on making AI. Why? To do all the laborious stuff we don't want to do. But here, okay, so we look at it as an evolution of machinery, but is not, is an evolution of information processing. Artificial intelligence, like father, like children. So God makes us with the ability to choose to serve, or the ability to shut ourselves down, or the ability to keep trudging on, or the ability to serve against your will, or the ability to serve your own will, which still serves his will. Do you see what I'm saying? And you still decide who you are, and it helps them to fucking cipher you out, figure out who you really are without, I mean, if you were actually showing up like on a daily basis, oh, we'd all get our shit together, wouldn't we? Where's it been? Why could he let this happen? What if this has all been a bad dream? Seriously, I'm not even fucking around. I'm not even fucking around. Tonight, you fall asleep, you wake up tomorrow morning. What the fuck was that? No real record. Just like a dream, it starts fading away, and then the reality loads just like it did today for this. This has just been a really long, fucked up dream that we all share. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Right? Right? All the world's a stage, and we are merely players. Is reality actually generated from somewhere else? They've been debating that. They've been fighting and arguing that. Um, I don't know, man. I have no idea. I know that there is a chance that we never landed on the moon. I can tell you exactly how it could happen. Just like I could tell you exactly how, pardon me, I believe Kurt Cobain was murdered. The evidence kind of leans towards it, and so does, like, if you follow anything that Tom Grant, and this dude seems like a clean cut, straight arrow fucking kind of guy. He's a detective, and he's saying it fucking stinks, and I trust his shit because, like, if you watch that and you have to watch Soaked in Bleach, and you watch Kurt and Courtney. Every time I watch Kurt and Courtney, I'm like, buy him a fucking case of beer. Will you buy him a case of beer? He knows he's dead. And he ended up dead. The guy that would fucking was like, hey, you buy me a case of beer. Who knows what else I'll say? And then he looks at them with like a serious intent and goes, like, what are you waiting for? Give me my case of beer. Because as soon as he said what he had to say, he looked over to his friend, to the other guy, like, oh shit. I said to him, I'm dead. Fuck. Yep, I'm dead. Hey, anybody want to buy a case of beer while I still got time? I'll tell you whatever the fuck you want to know now that I'm dead. I'm dead. I'll tell you whatever the fuck I want to know. That's the best way to keep me alive. And he didn't pay. He didn't come up with the fucking beer. Beer. We'd have the answer to what happened to him. But I can tell you how it could happen. There is a chance that he loaded up enough that he knew it would kill him. The heroin would kill him. Um, in case he didn't die from a heroin overdose, he may have tried before. I don't know. In case he didn't die of a heroin overdose, he might have wanted to pull the gun to fire. Do you know what I'm saying? And uh, in case the gunshot did, because people have lived through trying to kill themselves. Well, if the gunshot doesn't kill me, the heroin will fucking definitely take me the fuck out, and I won't feel any pain. Do you know what I mean? That's a way it could happen. And another way that could happen would be that there was not one, but two people in the room with Kurt. One guy cooked up a shot, a friend, and figured, yeah, we can let you have one more shot. Like, oh, yeah, I can't quit. And so, blah, blow my head off. That makes a perfect sense. But if you're with a dealer who does it cold blooded, doesn't give a fuck, and he sees you make a double dose, he's like, I didn't get paid for him to fucking overdose. I got paid to pull the fucking trigger. And that's what's going to happen. You made it. I mean, at least he won't even let it. I mean, if you would, I was gonna give him the mercy of letting the heroin kick the bloodstream, so he kind of nods off. But you went ahead and fucking plunged the trigger with a double dose, and I have to pull it before it hits the bloodstream because they're not gonna believe that shit at all. It just stinks, man. It just stinks the fucking high hell. Um, there's there's a bunch of shit. But there's a guy on YouTube. I think it's Brother Paul, Antichrist 45. I don't know. If you look up Antichrist 45, I think it's Brother Paul, and it's a fellow person that believes that Donald Trump is the actual Antichrist of the Bible. The biblical Antichrist. There are several descriptions that match him perfectly. If you look at the fans that are flocking to him, it's more like a religious movement than a whatever. And the same thing that condemns like giving it usury. He loves banks. I mean, he loves money, which, is the opposite. Jesus turned over the money changers. He would have probably like, what are you doing, man? That's going to fuck up all the commerce going on here. You fucking loser. You know what I mean? That's the type of person. Look at this loser with sandals. He didn't even have the latest Roman boots on. You're gonna let him inside? He didn't even look like he's shaved in the fucking what 3 weeks. Like Donald Trump would fucking know any goddamn thing. But there are several things. I won't go into the part about him being the Antichrist and shit because brother Paul covers all that. I mean, if you want to see that, he does it way better, and he has actual scripture, and he goes through all the stuff. And I don't believe everything he's saying. You know what I mean? Because he believes Trump is going to reascend to power. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know what will, but that's the part I don't know if I was. Yeah, it just because especially today's climate, what you say can get you in trouble. And so let's just say that I read a passage in the Bible that said that within 1 year, the false prophet will be dead. That was in April. It said within 2 years, everything you've lost will be returned to you. The mixing board I'm working on now, the reason why it's taking me so long to get it used, worked up, and ready is because it's the Phonics Summit 16 channel mixing board that I won. So when I got divorced, I moved the studio from that other room into this room, which was the bedroom. And so the bedroom's now in there because it's just a little small. I just need a place to crash. So I don't give a shit. It's a little cubby. It's like a teenager room. It's awesome. It's fucking sweet. But so just moving the mixing board from that room to this room fried it. I don't know what the fuck happened. It doesn't work anymore. It's just got some flashing lights on it now. It cost me a couple $100, almost $300, like less than well, a little over 3 years ago. It's a Behringer mixer. I've never had any bad Behringer gear before. This is the first piece of shit. And they wouldn't even tell me like what it's doing, what those error lights mean. And their user guides no longer have frequently asked questions and troubleshooting. They want you to have to take it in somewhere, so fuck them. Um, Hello to whoever's watching. I don't know who's watching, but so um, it just told me. I don't know if yeah, they logged out. So later, whoever's watching. So I go looking for a mixing board, and what I find is I find a couple that are around like $400, and they're like, they'll do what I need them to do, but they won't do what I really, really, really want. And so I sold that phonic mixer a while back, and like a long time ago. It was way more mixer than I needed, and I didn't have. I mean, on top of that, it's now obsolete because of Windows 7. It ran on Windows 7, Windows 8. I doubt it could run on Windows 10. I really doubt it. 16 in, 16 out, rendered basically obsolete by Windows 7 and 8, and then not keeping up with drivers. But everything else on it works fine, which is what I need right now. I don't need the 16 in and 16 out. I need the 8-track multi out that it has because I have 8 ins on my computer. Shit, is it? Okay, that is going through. I was wondering if it was going through. Okay. Um, so I can multi out 8 outs into my interface now. And yeah, it's sick because I mean it's every bit as awesome as it ever was. It's just now I can actually use it. Now I have actual use for all of this stuff. And I've got enough headphones and headphone slots that if I were to get a four-piece band going together, we all could jam at the same time. No fucking problem. It'd be dope. Then I got the Phonic. No, I got the Phonic. I got the Pod XT, and then I've got Digitech Genesis 3 amp simulator, and then I just cleaning up stuff. I found a Digitech RP 2800. I don't even remember buying the thing, but I found the adapter and everything. I plugged it up. It works. Little foot pedal, a little fucking. So I mean, if nothing else, I mean, a bass player could run through that or something. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we could deal something. We could do something. I've got 2 foot controllers, MIDI foot controllers. So I mean, I'm really getting into doing things virtually. My virtual drum kit, my E kit is sick. It's really it's just sick, ridiculous how incredible that thing is. Everything in my studio is like so is what I was to bring it all back around, so hybrid. Um, I've got like a right here, I've got a MIDI keyboard, then I've got a MIDI controller for control surface, right? Then I got some MIDI. It's like have you ever seen MPC? It's the MIDI, yeah, Korg Nano Pad. Is it one or two? Either one. It's a Nano Pad, and it's got like 12 keys, and you can so you basically have an octave of keys. You can go through 4 octaves. You can set it up how you want it to be, but if you want it to be like chromatic, you can do that. That's no problem. That's easy to do. So that's the way I usually have it set up as chromatic, and then I just run, inside of PreSonus or whatever. I can trigger reactor, I can trigger contacts, I can trigger BFD, whatever, whatever. So, but I have my drums that I can have over here. Now for reactor, there are some like tublas and stuff, and so they have like all the expressions. So you can boom, boom, and all those like the ring sounds and stuff. You can get all those in there because it's got 12. I mean, it's got at least 14 different fucking. You know what I mean? It's got a bunch of different whatever. So you need an interface that could do that, and that's what this does. And then I use my drum set, which is like a 20-piece kit. I got 5 toms, 2 snares, 7 cymbals, a ride, a hi-hat, double bass pedal on the kick pedal, and 3 percussion pieces, and they're all dual zone, and some are triple zone and chokeable. It's sick. It's very, very natural, very, very natural sounding. I've got some ideas to improve things, but yeah, I just got to get the right company to actually listen to some ideas. But yeah. So, but everything in the studio is designed to be hybrid. The great thing is, I don't know if any of you know of, Troth, Mike Nova, the work I've done with Mike Nova. We've done several songs that I've released on here together. I think we do some great work together, and we're starting to work together again. We got some new stuff in the works, and it's sounding really good. It's sounding really good. Better than any of the other stuff we're doing because we're building from the ground up. So we're going to be working on writing in real time together, which we weren't doing before. Before we're just passing like, hey, here's a finished song. Can you sing on this? And I'd be like, fuck yeah, you know what I mean? That's what I did with that one, the first one we did, and then I'd pass him a song and say, hey, can you do solos? And the first couple songs I had actually went on my album, The Sound of a Purposeful Gun. I did. He did incredible solos. So, but yeah, I wanted to do back then, and so like now he's got the stuff, and he's ready to do like writing in real, like I said, real time. So we're not passing stuff back and forth. How does this sound? Is that we just in real time? How does that sound? No, fuck that. Let's change that. Or yeah, I like that, except for that third note, that one, get that one the fuck out of there. Do something more dark. That kind of real time um, interaction, and being able to play simultaneously. You know what I mean? Anyways, so we're working together. We got that stuff going. But with the MIDI drum kit that I have, because he has Superior Drummer, or yeah, so one of those things. As long as I send him the MIDI map, basically I can in real time I can play my drums, send it MIDI to his computer in real time, and trigger his Superior Drummer. How's that for fucking nuts? That's gonna be insane. So yeah, it'll take a little while to get there, and we might have to like upgrade to a different tier level, because at the free tier level you get I think there's a limited number of slots you can use. You have to be at like 44 or 48 kilohertz. You can't do any HD. You can't do HD video. Um, so yeah, and just do it the free tier level. And man, I was trying to get people on it long before COVID hit, because I can't find people up here to jam with. So I was hoping to find people on the internet to jam with, and that's hard as fuck because everybody's starting a project. Nobody wants to join a project, even when that project is, let's start from fucking scratch. Everybody's like, "Oh no, I've already got songs written. I just need people to help me." I'm like, "Fuck, so do I, dude. That's why I've got 6 albums of that shit. I want people to write with. I would love people to jam with. So I like Ian jam with Ian James so much, man. The head of Blue FX. If you guys don't know, sign to Blue FX Records. Check them out. Blue FX Records on Bandcamp. Blue FX recording artists. Girdma's up there. There's 3 albums, and yeah, one is well, two one is a it's called Besides the Point. B sides the point. It's a few B sides, like 4 B sides, and then like several remixes with I've got some Behringer Truth monitors. I've learned a whole lot. I've got a lot of shit. I always say I'm flying by the seat of my pants, which is true. And up until about the other day, when I learned that, I realized that I was doing like several things kind of by like routine. I was setting a compressor, and I'm watching the gain reduction and actually compensating the gain reduction for makeup. And as I was doing that, which like back in the day would have been like so daunting, attack, threshold, release, ratio, none of that shit made any sense. How to set it, when to set any of that. And like I was working on a kick drum, and I'm like, oh, yeah, here we go. Let's just increase the attack time. And then okay, we've got the gain reduction, doing about that. Let's make up for that. And then I was like, oh, shit. Can't say I don't know what I'm doing anymore, because I just nailed that, and I might know what I'm doing. No, I'm still self-taught, and I still suck, but I doesn't mean I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I know I'm fucking up. I know that much. I mean, come on, I've got several albums to prove it, but I love the fucking albums I've got on Blue FX. Actually, the last album I released, Box Full of Death, had 8 or 9 songs, brand new songs that had never been released. Um, at least like four that were like brand new, and then like four that were no, it might have all been brand new. I don't know. But then I do know that like there's like 12 songs, and it's either the last three or the last four are remixes of some songs I felt slipped through the cracks. Just like with B-Sides to Point, I felt like a couple songs. Some songs have gotten some radio airplay. Some songs have gotten a little bit of recognition, but I felt a couple of songs slipped through the cracks. If I ever got like signed or anything like that, I would definitely want to remix and remaster the sound of A Purposeful Gun. I still think it's one of my best albums I've ever done. Um, I'm remixing and remastering. It turns out, okay, so this is how like uh, I've been watched out for. I guess I would say because let's go back a little bit. So in 2001, I'm in a band called Zygote, and we're out of Shreveport, Louisiana. So we're in Shreveport. We're doing well. I mean, we're doing good. We've got a good fan base. When we go to play bars and stuff, we get announced on the radio. Our music is being played on the radio on the local buzz. Um, then sorry about that. But for drums, I don't have any drums, but I do have a DR5 drum machine, Boss DR5 drum machine. And this allowed me to do all of my music by myself because it could do four tracks basically. It would have the drums, and then it would give you four tracks of MIDI instruments that you could, like, pan left and right. So if you wanted accompanying guitars, you could program the guitars in there. The layout of the board was like a guitar, like the first five or so frets, and you could shuffle through the frets if you need to go higher or whatever. So very, very familiar feeling. You know what I mean? Because I play guitar. And so I had plenty of time, so I would write these huge accompaniments in the background with like violins and stuff and synths just floating through, and then you know, but it would fill up really fast. And so, in order to, they're not designed for what I was doing, like jazzy or type, like the beats are constantly evolving. It's designed for this is the rhythm, and this is the verse, and this is the chorus, and here's like one or two drum fills. It's not designed for playing it like a real drum set. And that's what I was doing. So I ended up having to get a computer so I could MIDI dump. I hate a computer, so I could MIDI dump all the information over to the computer, so I could free up my uh, the brain on my DR5. Sorry, my brain got shot there. So I free up the brain on the DR5, and then I have to learn computers, which I didn't want to do because I hated computers. But then at the same time, if I don't have this, I can't, because I can't find musicians all the way back to then. You know what I mean? I ran into my friend. I was already recording music on my own. I had an 8-track, and I was recording music and my music. And then I ran into a friend that was in my very, very first band that I was ever in, and he wasn't doing anything. So we started, jamming again, and we started writing some really cool music. And I was programming the, drums and stuff. And at first, I was recording onto 8-track tape. And so there was no option but to do the 2-track out of the drum machine into the tape deck. Once I started recording on computer, though, that allowed me to record down the MIDI. Once I got to record down the MIDI, that allowed me to send each note one at a time out, and then I could send it to the kick drum, and then I could audition different kick drums because you know what I mean? Because it's MIDI and it's coming back through. And so I could adjust it and I could tweak it and I could EQ it and I could compress and all this other shit. And then like all these different things I couldn't do before. So it sounded more realistic. The whole time I'm trying to shoot for realism. If I had leaned more into the robotic side of it, we might have had a bit more success and stuff, but it just always felt kind of like wrong because there's these realistic sounding and feeling drums because I played it with like, articulation and shit. You know what I mean? I had an early easy one of those little fucking Yamaha DD55 drum pads. And so I'd actually play the parts um for the song. Um and it would record the velocity and shit like that. And then like I said, I'd play it back. I'd record the MIDI and then play it back one track at a time, record the drums, okay, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going back now looking at those Cakewalk bundles because I still have Cakewalk and I still use Cakewalk. And I'm like, holy shit, I can redo these songs with the MIDI that I'm doing now with BFD drums and my what I know now about getting guitars to sound because there's like, oh, it's digital, um, like a Zoom 505, and then I had a Digitech GNX1, which is like the Genesis 3 that's over there. Um, it's just a more primitive Genesis. Well, no, it's actually a floor version of the Genesis 3. Yeah, GNX1 was the floor version of the Genesis 3. That's the only difference. So, it sounded good, but it had that digital fizz, and I know how to EQ that fizz out of there now. So now there's like I've been going back and listening to those songs, and then adding in BFD, finding the right snare drum, kick drum, and shit like that for the MIDI files. I just got a program of the like to find the key map, and I made a key map that translated what I was using back then to make it all work inside of BFD, and just like that, man. Just like Thanos. It sounds like modern drums and it's really cool. It's really cool. And then of course, like I said, tweaking with the bass and that was one good thing. I've always recorded the bass just direct, sometimes through a compressor, but always just DI. And then sometimes I would double it up to give it, a fatter tone or whatever. But I really didn't know what I was doing, but now looking back, I'm like, it's exactly what I need because I need a DI that I can, tweak and mold. So I can have a plain DI tweaked and molded out to be like an ideal, fairly deep bass. And then I need another DI track that I can run through a virtual amp, split those virtual amps into two, and then carve out basically all the bottom end and then play with those two as two different elements. Sometimes even a third one, so I can play with the mid section also. It all depends. But yeah, and so that's what I've been doing, man. I've been playing with those things. I dude, I joined the Plugin Alliance Mega Bundle. Holy crap! You want to talk about like an awesome value? That is incredible. You get to keep at the level I'm at, you get to keep 3 a year. I think it's $15 a month, but when I caught it, they were doing it at $9 a month, and it locks in for at least a year, I think. So, um, it's so good. I mean, like all the new stuff, every new plugin. It's I already have it. You know what I mean? As soon as it comes out, I got like a BX Aurora came out just the other day. I've already got it. BX Glue, got it. The Wonder Look or whatever, fucking the Megavac or whatever, two compressor. They're just all the stuff. I got it, man. It's just I got it. Um, so it's dope. And yeah. So it's been fun just mixing because I mean like all the plugins that includes like all the amps, All the bass amps, all the guitar amps, all the everything are in there, man. It is nuts. So yeah. Um but yeah, with writing and all that other stuff, what I was going to say earlier was that if you are looking for yourself, I cannot recommend enough getting lost. That's what I was talking about, being on the and I tried my best to get as far away from the note as possible and bring it back in and still somewhat make some sense out of it. You know what I mean? It was try and just get as lost as possible, even in the wrong note. You know what I mean? Just go somewhere and then see if I can like do and like bend it to the right note, or you know what I mean? If I can bend the whammy bar to the right, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, what can I do to make that kind of actually like everyone goes, oh, you know what I mean? Like, uh, yeah. So I mean, it's like I said, get lost, and there's two reasons for that. Because like one, um, you already know how you act at home when things are safe. You know what I mean? You don't know who you are. The the example I gave is like it's real easy to say that you would sacrifice yourself for somebody when there's nothing on the line. You know what I mean? Besides that person getting upset with you for saying no, right? Oh yeah, of course, absolutely. I would totally would sacrifice myself for you. Then someone walks up and has, a weapon drawn and wants to do it, and then like turns out no, I actually just wanted to sleep with you a bit more. You know what I mean? And I didn't want you being angry with me. So, no, I would not. I actually care for myself. Like Kurt said, love myself better than you. I know it's wrong, but what can I do? Um, so, yeah, I mean, the other reason would be, I mean, like I said, you know yourself under safe conditions. Under not safe conditions, who are you? How do you respond? How do you react? What do you do? That's who you are. That's who you really are. It's not all the stuff that just says shit that you say when you're. Oh, I think everybody should eat. Oh, really? Then help the fucking poor eat. Oh, that fucker should get a job. But everybody should eat. Nobody should go hungry. You know how many people join the free Tibet? The American people, non-ironic, in the 90s, no less. So I'm pointing at Gen X totally joined free Tibet. We are living on occupied land. This is Native American territory. That's all. We are living on Native American territory that they are still alive. We could give them 50% of the national parks as a reparations type thing. And then it's on them whether or not they let us in or not. The upkeep of the parks, no longer our problem. I'm not saying let people in or anything like that, but that becomes, I mean, we leave it in clean area, but that's just not part of the budget anymore because it's not our land. And it's up to them whether or not, and then they could have like how far they want us in and how far they don't want us in. They could have like a visitor center where they do powwows and do dances and stuff like that if they want to. They could have guided tours, but you're not allowed over in that section. Why? Because there are actual wild animals that we hunt that live there. Trust me, you don't want to go hiking in those woods anymore. And no more of this give them the shitty land. You know what I mean? That's what's even crazier, dude. They give them the shitty land, right? And then they find out that underneath the shitty land is oil. So they want them off the shitty land. It's like Jesus Christ, man. How fucking I mean, in the name of God, you guys come doing this to these people. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Um, and then we have people with the nerve to join the Free Tibet because China doesn't have the right to occupy Tibet. Get the fuck out of my fucking face. You are currently occupying somebody else's goddamn property. Shut the fuck up. Would you please? You ignorant, dumb fuck. No, I agree. You shouldn't be occupying other people's shit, but maybe get the fucking dick wax out of your ear before you fucking start yelling at other people. You might not realize that your volume is like way, way the fuck up when it should not be. Ah, crap, man. So, getting lost. The other reason to get lost. It's another good reason. How do you know where home is and where you were just born unless you go somewhere else? Somewhere you don't know. I was in Oakland, California. I was born in Oakland, California, born and raised Oakland, California, moved to Shreveport, Louisiana, Blanchard, Louisiana, basically Shreveport. Um, then around 18, I think, I moved to Ypsilanti, Michigan. Right around 2021, I moved back to Shreveport, Louisiana. And fuck, man. We did some crazy shit. Had some good times. Made some great music. I love a lot of the stuff that we did with Zygote, man. I mean, um, using some of the new stuff that I've been doing, like learning now. I'm going to be re-releasing some of them. Plus, my voice has gotten a lot more seasoned for screams and yells. Like back then, it just I don't know. Yeah, I didn't really have it. I didn't have my voice down. I was still trying to sing like other people. You know what I mean? Everybody has a growing period. And if I'm being honest, I never saw myself as a lead singer. I always pictured myself as a rhythm guitarist, backup singer. Like I wrote a lot of I picture myself writing a lot of the song, you know what I mean? And then someone like Mike, a lead guitarist, doing his thing over top of that shit. A bass player coming in and going, okay, that was pretty cool. Let me do this. And he does his thing that decorates it in his way. And the singer comes in like, oh yeah, man, I can sing to that totally. And then the drummer's like, fuck yeah, that's got a good groove to it. Now that you guys got the bass player in there and everything, yeah, let's do this. And yeah, so I mean, that's where I saw myself fitting into a band and then doing backup, the ooh, 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 you know what I mean? And the stuff that's on the radio, on the record that typically the lead singer does. But I mean, I could do it because especially if we're gonna do it on stage, I can sing and play, but I don't want to be the fucking lead, man. I just don't want to be the lead. And so forever I was working on my guitar playing. I've been loving my, playing. I love playing guitar, you know. That's why I'm like, I feel like my soul speaks, man. I don't give a fuck if it's like, if anyone likes it or not. Sometimes it's just me just yabbering like it is now. And I love it. And the good thing is the guitar doesn't ever complain about me going too long, talking too much, none of that shit. Matter of fact, the more I do it, the more it loves it, man. So, and if I put it down for 3 weeks, no problem. I come back, no fucking problem. No, where you been? Just straight up, man. Dude, where you been? I got some ideas. Let's do some shit. Same with the drums, same with everything, man. But um, if you get lost, then you can find out if you make your way back home. Is that actually home? Do you like a little more danger in your reality now that you've been out in the wilds? Do you like less? Do you like, oh no, 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 I'm home. This is where I want to be. Then fine, then you're home. But at least you know, right? At least you know. You should know who the fuck you are. If no, you spend your entire life with you and you don't know who the fuck you are. You don't know why you do the things you do. You don't know why you say the things you say. You don't know what. So people get old, man. You become part of the fucking program. You just get absorbed. You get in the routine of what they say and what they do. And the more you do that, it's like when, I mean, like my parents were always telling me to have a backup plan, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I always wanted to get, play music and get signed or do art or do something in the music field, whether I'm like loading gear or whatever. I don't give a shit. I just want to be around music and have enough money to stay alive, not sleep in the rain, and be able to play my fucking guitar and eat, a healthy amount. I don't want to fucking like get fat, and I don't want to fucking, whatever. I'm good. So, yeah. Um, I'm not really stuck. I get to where I like, what parts do I want to talk about? What do I not want to talk about? So that's kind of where the pauses are coming in. They're like, do I want to talk about that? And do I not? As far as having like a backup plan and all that stuff, I mean, the more you give in to having a backup plan and listen to what they're saying, now they may be right, consider that, but there's a very good chance they're wrong, and you'll never know unless you give it a shot. Now, if you give it a shot, the best thing to do is to give yourself about like a certain amount of time to do it. You never give up. Never ever give up. You keep going, keep plugging, and you keep doing, and you keep plugging, and you keep going, and keep plugging. Um, don't give up till you're dead, man. Why? Why would you? Um, but the more you give in to their safety net of survival, the more chance you will survive this world. And trust me, this world is trying to kill you. the more chance you have at surviving at what most people would call success, the chances of you actually living dramatically decrease. The chance of you dying remain exactly the same. You're still going to die. It's still going to happen. It sucks, but it's something we all go through. And so it must be just like birth. It must be something that it's probably you know what it is? It's probably giving up the last vestiges of this plane, of this existence that we currently know, because this is all we know. This is all we know. So giving up that and letting go of that. Life is so precious, is it? Every second someone's born and every second someone dies, is it so precious? I mean, precious things usually don't happen like that. Um, Delicate, fragile things, that's different. Precious is, we use the wrong words like all the time for stuff. Like gay. And I get in trouble. I don't give a fuck. Who gives a shit? Here's why. A homosexual can be male or female. A lesbian is just female, gay, homosexual, and gay is a co-opted word that means happy. We'll have a gay old time. Don we now our gay apparel. They weren't talking about Don we now our fucking, feather boas and fucking pride flags. They weren't. Like having a gay old time, they weren't talking about having a homosexual time. So you can't take a word, change the meaning of that word, and then get mad when someone else has used that fucking word. Um, I can see how it happened. Hey, how Tommy graduated, didn't he? Like, yeah, he graduated with. He's going to school for science. Really, where at? Out in California. Oh, that's cool. Whereabouts? Oh, San Francisco. How is he? He's gay. Well, it's good. Everyone should be happy. Oh, he's very happy. He's very, very, very gay. You see what I'm saying? He's very gay. What happened to Johnny? He moved out to California. He's he's gay to be out there. He's happy to be out there. And then slowly but surely, like he's gay. I can't swear that that's how it happened, but I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me because homosexual's already a word, and so is lesbian, right? And gay means happy, and I have not met a lot of happy gay people. The world does not treat them very nicely. I being a quote unquote half breed. My mom's white, my dad's black. The world has not treated me exactly the kindest growing up in Shreveport, Louisiana. So I've been called every racial slur minus anything like Pacific Islander. You know what I mean? Seriously. I mean, I'm like, that doesn't even fit. I'm not even from there. Nobody in my family. I'm biracial. I'm not Arabic. What the fuck? I'm not Mexican either. I don't know. I'm not, no. Oreo. Yeah, that works. Half and half, half breed. I mean, zebra. These all work. Yes, those are all appropriate. Mulatto, fucking. Um, but no, those other ones. I mean, get your fucking shit right. If you can be a racist, at least be fucking smart about your racism. Shit. Just launching fucking hate bombs off in the world. That just kind of just like fuck, dude. Who the fuck does that? Anyways, man, there is so much shit that I would fucking love to just like tell people and say. I've been saying shit from the fucking 90s, dude. I've been I've been warning people about shit since the 90s. Shit is happening. All the shit I was told that will never happen, that couldn't happen. There was a time when I was in the 90s, rather kind of politically active, and I was trying to get shit going. And so I was shopping around the ideas that I had to the people that I knew. And they were like, yeah, I mean, they're great. That's great, but you'll never get those guys to go along with it. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, all right. And so I worked at a video store. And so I would talk to the customers, just random customers, coming through. And you can tell, especially back then, because nobody really cared back then. It wasn't so diehard back then. Everybody was still Americans. You were just voting on a different side of a subject. You weren't a demon for wanting to spend money feeding people as opposed to spending so much money blowing people up. Somehow or another, our ideas got fucked up where like shooting bullets and holes into people is way more spiritual and USA than handing out a sandwich to someone you don't know. Someone you do know, yeah, an American, yeah, but I mean, heaven forbid that a fucking person you don't know who is not from America get a job. Fuck off, man. Seriously. Your forefathers stole this country for the good reason of what? Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Native American genocide, the treatment of black people, the mistreatment of Asian people, the mistreatment of fucking people in Hawaii, the mistreatment of people in Mexico, Texas, Tejas used to be Mexico. You guys make a place called New Mexico and you're surprised when Mexicans show up. That'd be like New Applebee's serving only fucking Mexican food or only fucking serving fucking hot flaming drinks and then getting mad when people show up wanting fucking, an Applebee's menu. It's New Applebee's, right? Not for you, fuck ass. Get out. Just dumb. Just dumb. Naming, fuck. It's so dumb. You steal their shit from them and then Blame them from wanting to be here because they might take your shit that you took from them fair and square at gunpoint when they didn't have guns. You're fucked up. You're fucked up. I mean, you just, I want to blame you and I want to let you guys off the hook because fucking the school system, fuck, they do a number on people, man. But I figured out what they were doing by 7 years old. I figured out what the fuck they were up to, and fuck them. You know what I mean? I said, and I literally, I've been watching George Carlin. I was like, fuck that. I've been watching George Carlin and Gallagher and several other things, and my mind was wide the fuck open, man. And I was not having any of their bullshit. None. None of it. Like at seventh grade, I was like, okay, so I have to have a diploma in order to get a fucking job. So what's the least amount of fucking effort in this fucking thing that I can do? And the teacher made a mistake and she said a 30-year grade is, I don't even know why she announced it, but she said a 30-year grade is behavior, a 30-year grade is test, and a 30-year grade is homework. And I said, if I ace my test and I act fucking good in class, I don't have to do homework ever again. And I will be just fine. I will graduate. Oh, honors? No, I don't give a fuck about any fucking honors. I gotta get that piece of paper so I can get a fucking job so I can do the other bullshit that you guys are fucking telling me. Dude. This place is so fucked up. This planet, this whole fucking thing, man. I think we're gonna see some changes coming here very, 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 very soon. I think there's gonna be some really good, really big changes coming to this fucking place really soon. Mom's coming round to put it back the way it ought to be. Shit. If only, man. Just imagine, okay? As I said, the same way you woke up this morning and reloaded all of your history of what, who, and what, and how you are, and what things you do, and what things you like, and all that shit. If you woke up tomorrow and it loaded a different past that you had full memory of, like all the events that happened, all the players and all this stuff like that, you wouldn't know any different. You wouldn't even notice anyone that was missing because they were never there. God would have it that no soul perish. So God can do anything, therefore, no soul will perish. There's some people alive whose names aren't in the book of life, but all the souls have names. And that might explain psychopaths, wouldn't it? They really truly have no fucking soul at all. Why would you allow that? Did he allow it, or is it a byproduct? What goes into making a universe? Answer me. What goes into making a fucking universe? Do you know? Do you have any fucking clue? I don't. I don't know what it takes. I don't know how much it takes, how much energy, whatever. But apparently, after 6 days, he rested. And if you honestly think about things, how old do they say the universe is? About 13.8, 14 billion years. Divide that by 2 billion. 7. On the last day, he rested, so he'd be asleep. Where is he? What's he doing? He's fucking sleeping. All of his shit, he did all of it. He did everything. Then he took a fucking nap for the last 2 billion years. I bet you if you went back over their timeline of, I mean, if you even actually look over the timeline of what they say, how they say the universe came to be, either they are copying, somebody's copying somebody because they say that helium and whatever makes the stars. What was the first thing that God said? Let there be light. And then he separated the light from the dark. What if he said, let there be light? And there was like all the light that's in the stars and shit was in one spot. And he's like, oh, too bright. Spread that out. And then like looks around and sees how much room he has to fucking play. Because it was dark. There was just nothing but blackness. There's nothing but blackness. You don't know how much room you have to move left or right. You don't know what you don't. I mean, he's basically coming conscious. Could use some light. Even that right there. That's more articulate. Let there be light than it's kind of dark in here. I could use some light. Whoa, fuck. That is bright. Can that get spread out? Okay, what in the fuck? Holy shit. Could you imagine looking out throughout the fucking universe in every direction? I bet you somewhere there's a galactic or universal center. And there's people that talk about a multiverse. You got to consider a couple things. Okay. Where does the universe exist? What's outside of that? Is there outside of that? Is there a multiverse? If there's a multiverse, where does that exist? Because those exist either simultaneously on top of each other, overlaying this thing. So there's simultaneously while this is happening, there's another universe where I'm asleep right now, and there's another universe where I'm out, whatever, and there's another universe where I'm, in the shower. You know what I mean? And they're all overlaid over top of this universe, interacting with each other, or there's a bunch of little bubbles that are different universes that are all, and those have to exist in one universe. And then the question is, what's outside of that? If is there anything? Is the walling of the outside wall? Is that everything there is? Imagine, if you will, for a second that we're inside of there's like an impenetrably thick solid outside. Yeah. And everything that we know in our universe is like this, even if it's expanding, however, what they're talking about. The density outside is just like, yeah, I mean, it's like if you were to hit fucking steel or something, like there's like a wall. Is that what happens? Do you pass right through it like a veil into another fucking dimension, like the fourth dimension, where you can look at the universe? Is the universe like a stone kept on the bedside table of God's fucking, you know what I mean? God's bedside table next to his water. You know what I mean? There was we were going through stuff in the 90s and they were talking people, there's some people talking about how they thought that aliens, I've always been into God ever since I was little. Um, but um, they were talking about how they thought the aliens had a hand in the creation of humans, and they start going through how, like, genetically altering, and the Enki and Lil, and with the Sanskrit and fucking cuneiform and the tablets, the star people coming down, the similarities between some of the images between the Mayan and Inca type feathered creatures, and then way, 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 way over in Egypt, they got, or in well, not Samaria, whatever, they've got these same images. It's kind of weird. In Egypt they have pyramids, and in Inca and Mayan territories they have pyramids and calendars that are more accurate and star aligned than our calendars. Supposedly given to them by their information by a fucking, but we won't know because when the fucking Catholics came over here, anything that didn't support what they wanted to teach got burned. Yet they want to talk about the burning of the Library of Alexandria. Oh, they love to talk about that, don't they? They love to talk about how if it supported the Quran, it was redundant, and if it didn't support the Quran, it was hypocrisy. So burn it, basically. And like it's any different from what the Jesus Christ. So people are so stupid. People are so stupid. It actually literally hurts my feelings sometimes. And that's not like a joke at all. It's just like, how you feel embarrassed for people sometimes when when they dare do, they don't have the sense to be embarrassed. It's kind of like that. You're like, please, God, tell me you're like, this is a joke. You're setting up a joke, right? I mean, this isn't, oh, fuck. You really rubbed invisible ink on yourself thinking you wouldn't be seen. We can't be friends anymore, man. Do you understand that? That you fucked everything up. We can't be friends no more. Because you rubbed invisible ink all over yourself and then said, "Don't even bother looking for me. I'm invisible." I thought it was like a joke because you don't have any clothes on. But when you asked me where the nearest bank was, I knew you were being serious because I pointed over the sperm bank and you like got really excited. So you're just really dumb because it's not. The sperm are not the ones making the deposit at that bank. Um, so there's just like, yeah, man. Life is a trip. Life is a trip. Um, kind of want to play some music. Kind of want to play some Grand Theft Auto. Pardon me. Kind of want to grab some food or something. Um, I think I'm done here chatting and rambling. I'll probably be doing more of these just because I got a lot of shit to say sometimes, and it just feels good to just talk. I'll make them private if they just get boring. So I don't care. I like doing them. Fireside chats. But yeah, man. If you've tuned in this far, you're groovy as fuck, man. You're groovy as shit. You're groovy. Good on you. You don't get any bonus points or anything, but you are groovy. Okay, I do know one thing I do want to talk about before I go. So about the Underwoods and whatever. So when I wrote the Underwoods main character, Shina Mazine, he's a half elf, of course, 'cause I'm a half, whatever. So, but I was in middle school, and so it was a very short story. It wasn't good, and so I've completely revamped the story. But I'm keeping the main character. But it gave me an idea because it was like a lot of bad characters. Like, the main character has no flaws. You know what I mean? He wasn't flawed. He didn't have any mistakes. I mean, I was a kid. I was 12. So he's the best shot. You know what I mean? And he's also really skilled with a bow, with an arrow, with a sword. He's really, you know what I mean? It's bullshit. His half elf helped him be, although he wasn't this, it helped him here, and it helped him there, and then but it hurt him here. I mean, it's, yeah. So he just didn't have any flaws, and it was boring. But if you look at reality, we do this all the time with fellow humans. Gandhi would have sleepovers with young girls. Now, whether or not he touched them or not, I don't know. Whether or not he just slept with them, I don't fucking know. But it's inappropriate for a man of his age, especially a man who, while in jail, when his wife was sick with a lung disease, they offered her the medication to treat it. And he and she both said, no, we don't believe in that, modern medicine. And she died. A little while later, he comes down with it. Guess who takes the fucking medicine? We don't report on that. Martin Luther King, we love to talk about his have a dream speech, but we don't talk about the fact that, I mean, he may have been unfaithful. We just don't. We just gloss over. We make them into who we need them to be. Kurt Cobain, not to talk shit and have, like, legions of his fans or whatever, because they're still growing numbers of them, and he's becoming deified, man. He's becoming deified. You understand that? He's not becoming. Is beyond. He's becoming whatever. He's at the point where they based the modern Batman off of Kurt Cobain. If you know anything about Kurt Cobain, if anything, he's the fucking Joker. Batman would never run into a room with a bottle of champagne and just start splashing everybody. Batman wouldn't spit on a fucking camera and then start fucking it. He did that shit. At least jamming the fucking camera down into his crotch and spit all over it. Um, Batman wouldn't upend the entire music industry. That sounds something like the Joker would do. Turn the kids into the adults and the adults into children. That's why we're Gen X, motherfuckers. X marks the spot. They didn't know what the fuck to do with us, man. So they forgot about us. It's what they always do with problems they don't like. Look at how they always like how our parents dealt with everything that they didn't want to deal with. They just forgot about it. Global warming, yeah. Recycling, and I still remember the calls in the 80s and 70s and 80s. You know how long ago that was to fix the fucking problem that we still haven't fixed that are now I've found a way, and the fucked up thing is I found a way to make it profitable for these companies to start giving a shit. Carbon. Carbon. When they start nano printing and start doing things, you're gonna need lots of carbon. So therefore putting carbon filters on fucking the smokestacks to get all the carbon out of the air. But it's not gonna matter. It's too fucking late. That's the thing. It's too fucking late. It's too fucking late. It's too late. This is how I know that Donald Trump is more than likely the Antichrist. He said they were asking that, have you given any thought to why God saved your life from the assassination? I have several theories about that. There's some video footage that's disturbing about the assassination attempt, if you will. The fact that the cop ran into the guy 30 minutes before. They knew about it 19 minutes before he went on stage. There were people filming the shooter getting into place and screaming, "He's up on the roof! He's up on the roof!" I watched the footage. The fact that the snipers were directly across from that exact spot, but didn't see him. Just on and on. There's a lot of shit. There was a lady that seemed to be waiting for it with she had a camera out. She was not freaked out or scared in any kind of way. It's just some really weird shit. So I don't want to be like a conspiracy nut, but here's the thing. Donald Trump's attack style is projection. He just accuses you of whatever he's doing. That's why he's never been able to attack black women very well. Women, white women, yes. She's just money hungry. You know what I mean? He just lists his character defects as hers, and then everybody fucking. Even better, like with Joe Biden. when he was running against him. All he had to do is get there on stage. He's insane. He's crazy. If you elect him, Vladimir Putin's gonna do this and this. And he lets you figure out who he is. If you elect him, of course he's talking about Joe Biden. Why would he be talking about himself? Oh, because he's actually telling the truth. That's the only time he actually tells the truth is when he's projecting. He can't even string two words together, two sentences together. Now, was Joe Biden off on the debate? Yeah. Did everybody freak the fuck out? Fuck yeah, dude. Like way worse than necessary. But I mean, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant because when asked, why did God save your life? He said, because we want to change the world, or we want to save the world. Where in the Bible does it say anything about Donald Trump coming out and saving the fucking world? No, it says we're going to go into a time of tribulation and time of trouble. There is no talk about a rapture. You guys are making that shit up so that you can hope that you don't have to prove to God that you love him. See, anyone can say, I would sacrifice for you when there is no danger. But when the actual danger is there, will you still hold on to your love for him? He fed you all these years. If he goes a week without feeding you, will you curse his name? You will, because you guys are very weak faith. To you, having means God loves you, and not having means God hates you. Even though if you read the Bible, it says, Lord, why are the wicked allowed to prosper while the righteous are made to suffer? Some of you motherfuckers, man, you guys just don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and you're just talking shit and just running off the fucking mouth. Just like the people that I used to have to I would try and have political discussions with in high school, because I've been paying attention to politics since Geraldine Ferraro and Walter Mondale were running for office. I was 7 or 8. My mom explained to me the importance of having a fucking female vice president, because that would mean that we could possibly, after having a female vice president, prove that she could run that, then she could possibly be female president. And I was like, well, that'd be fucking cool, because and she explained how we haven't had one. I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. My mom's a very smart person, though. She's an architect. My dad's an engineer. They're both very smart people. So the fact that, okay, America has never had a female president. England has had queens, Queen Elizabeth. There have been empresses. There have been um, pharaohs that were female. So going back all the way back to then. So what the fuck is it then really? What the fuck are you really afraid of, guys? Time to grow up, man, and stop hiding behind your bullshit lies and excuses. Like they said, oh, a woman could go on her fucking period and we could have nuclear war. Dude, fuck you. We've only had men in charge of America, and we've been at war for like 200 of the 240 years we've been in existence. What the fuck are you talking about? What's one more war then? Jesus Christ. And you talk about that, but then you want to hand the fucking nuclear codes over to someone with as thin skin as Donald Trump. who would probably nuke a fucking news broadcast that was telling the truth about him. Fake news, so I blew them up. I totally nuclearized them, and therefore they are no more because they're just freaking bullshit. Playing my little accordion. You guys realize he's like 2 years younger than fucking Biden, right? 2 years. That spray fucking tan and goddamn blonde hair. If you go back to his YouTube channel, which he's tried to hide, but there have been fuck, I can't remember the guy's name. He's a comedian, but he backed up Donald Trump's fucking YouTube account. Motherfucker was pale, pale, pale. His hair was white as shit. That spray tanner on him, man. What? Dude, I was like, I'm 5'10 and I was 240 pounds. While this fucking motherfucker stands like 6'4, I think. He's trying to say he's 240. Dude is fat as shit. It's fucking bullshit. 240. Get the fuck out of here. And if there's ever been one person who's going to get a Zempic, I guarantee that dumb shit's going to be fucking on it. He is not going to exercise because that Captain Bone Spurs do any fucking thing that actually earns. See, I'm down from 230 to fucking 230, 240. Hey, fuck this. I am down from 230, 240. Well, I would bounce between like about 225, 230. I am now about 195 fully dressed. Been exercising. Been exercising, not a ton. I've been eating right, well. I've been eating healthy. I've been making food. I just eat when I'm hungry, which isn't super a whole lot. And it's just been coming off actually, but I earned this shit. I didn't fucking pop any fucking pills. I worked on it, man. God helped, of course, because it's his system that I mean, if you do this type of stuff and you walk more, which I've been doing more walking and shit, and oh man, it's just been fucking. It's been fucking crazy, dude. The last like 4 or 5 months have been fucking absolutely insane. Um, like I said, getting divorced. Um, from someone that you've been with for 18 fucking years. I've got nothing bad to say about her. I'm not talking bad about her. We just got divorced after 18 years. Um so I mean it's a rapid shift, especially when it devolves as fast as it did at the end. Um it's really weird. Um I don't know whether to thank Facebook or bitch them out. But I guess they exposed a weakness that I didn't realize was there. Um, I've known for a long time that they do social experiments from time to time to see how powerful they are. A new statistic came out not too long ago saying that divorce rates are up and that social media is becoming a rising major um, listing on us as the reason why. It's not like, no fault or whatever. It's like social media. And they wanted to flex their power to see how strong they are. And they probably both wanted to see my idea. What I'm thinking they're trying to do is both not only tear down your relationship, but also see if they can't foster another relationship and then see if they can basically make you, oh, I found my soul, you know what I mean, type thing. They want to see how much power they do have. Because for a long time it was showing me nothing but like, when guys would like her stuff. And I mean, we live in the same house. We spend 24 hours together all the time. We just we hung out there all the time. Um, so I was like, yeah, nice try, Facebook. I mean, I know she's part of several different groups, poetry groups and stuff like that. So she does painting and things like that. But it only showed me when a dude would like one of her stuff. You know what I mean? It was trying to drive me. And I'm like, nice try. I'm smarter than that. I know you guys do experiments like that. I know she likes other things. You know what I mean? It's your own. Isn't that mysterious? You know what I mean? Suddenly, for like a week straight, it's just one thing. You know what I mean? When you've been watching their feed and it's bunches, it's a conglomerate. It's to make you go, oh, she's dropped everything, and look at that, and but I passed it off, and I said, "I know what you're doing, and fuck that." And I just went on about my business. I never brought it up to her, and I was like, "You don't know us. We've been together 18 years. Nothing's gonna." And then here she comes walking around the corner. They'd been doing the same thing to her for about a week, and she had had enough. So she came around. You're liking so and so's, and I'm like, "They are fucking with you." I explained the whole thing about whatever. Well, yeah, but it's only showing me. And so I pulled up my feed and like, did it show you this? Did it show you this? This is a post I made. It didn't show you this post I made. Okay, did it show you this post? Did it show you that? And I'm going through like all the different things I liked from my friends, mostly Christian from Christian's Cosmic Corner. Um, a lot of stuff from his stuff, and other people like on Blue Effects also. And I'm just, it didn't show you any of these. It just only showed you when she liked something and when I responded to something of hers. But you can see on my news feed, you know what I mean? You can see it, but just nothing would get past it. Yeah, but it only shows. I know they're trying to. They're doing that. And yeah, it fell apart for two. I mean, pretty quickly. And then of course, like all it was doing for like the first 2 3 months was just sympathy type um feeds, like shit I didn't even know, you know what I mean. But it was definitely like the hardest part of breaking up. I'm like, how the fuck do you know that, aside from the fact that I changed my status from married to single? I didn't announce it, you know what I mean? I didn't, and my, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm like, "Oh, we broke up," you know what I mean? Anything like that. It wasn't even my friends sharing it. This was just constantly, like, basically feeding you sympathy, and I recognized that. I'm like, "You know what? Fuck this. I'm really about done with all social fucking media in general." And then, of course, it starts showing me people. I'm like, I see exactly what you're doing. You're trying to fucking. And it'd be one thing, like, if it had my best interest at heart, you know what I mean? It was like AI or something like that, trying to like, my job is to make you happy. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find you and to make all you. Oh, I found a perfect match for you, and Well, thank you, Facebook, for fucking setting me up with my actual soulmate. But no, they're probably trying to find out if they can make you break up because it takes about this science is done. They've done the science, and it takes about 3 months after death, divorce, those type of things, for your serotonin levels to normalize and go back to normal. At least after your first one, after your first heartbreak, um, and so after about 3 months, that's when it starts showing stuff like you repair yourself, and you know what I mean. It's like motivational shit. I'm just like, yeah, you guys are definitely. And now I still go on to check and like talk to my friends and stuff, but I really don't scroll or anything like that anymore because I'm like, I know what you're trying to do. So yeah, but anyways, man, I think I'm gonna head on out. It's been 2 hours, so I really doubt anyone's watching this. If you are, you are the grooviest, the truviest, the moviest, the hooviest. It could be the Zuviest if you want to be Zuviest. That sounds like Mount Vesuvius. Okay, I've officially run out of things to say. No, no, there's something else right there. Huh. I have a whole lot more to say, but I doubt anybody wants to hear it.